Hi everyone, Dan at Ochiko Bushcraft. Well, it's been a few months. I didn't make it back out to the woods as much as I'd hoped. I'd got busy with other things, but I'm back and I have several new pieces of equipment to test. So over the next few weeks, I plan on making quite a few videos, testing out some new equipment and starting my bushcraft season. So recently I was given a challenge. Now you guys might remember last year I put my Becker BK16 head-to-head against the new Mora Garberg, and for me personally the Becker BK16 beat it hands down easily. So I recently was challenged, why not try out one of these newer super steels as they're nicknamed, specifically the Benchmade Bushcrafter. So today in the mail arrived my first ever Benchmade Bushcrafter knife. I've never held one in my hand before today, never seen one up close before today. So this is the first time. And I'm going to actually put these two head to head. They're almost identical in length, blade length. The big difference is carbon steel, and this is one of those super stainless steels. I think it's CPM S30V, which I have no idea what that means, but I'm gonna put these head to head in some tests, and I want to see how they both fare. And I've stropped up my BK16 to a razor edge. I have no complaints about this knife except for one. Only one complaint, and I'll get to that in the tests. Other than that, this knife has not disappointed me one single time in all the outings I've had it on. Now, some of you might say, hey, this is a $200 knife, this is a $60 knife, is that really fair? Well, I've put this head to head with knives that cost twice as much, and my BK16, in my opinion, beat them hands down. So this is a 3 times as much expensive knife, but we're gonna see what happens right now. All right. Parachute cord. This one just out of the box today. This one stropped up really good for today. So I'm going to do a little sharpness test here. Very sharp. Actually, out of the box, this cut through the cordage easier than my BK16. Now, every time I come home, I strop this on a leather belt. I use some of that green stick that you rub on the leather belt, and I strop it up real good. And this will still shave, and it cut through the cordage very easily. But and I actually thought it would beat the Benchmade. I'm really surprised that the Benchmade cut through the cordage easier. That surprises me. Okay, before I get into some batoning and some carving, here is the one complaint that I have had with my Becker BK16. Striking a ferro rod. This black coating on the back and an edge that is not sharp at all has made it impossible to use my knife to get any sparks. So, no black coating and a sharp 90-degree spine. So let's try this. Big difference. Okay. Benchmade 2, Becker BK16, nothing. Again, I know, guys, I'm putting a $200 knife head-to-head with a $60 knife, but the way my Becker BK16 has performed in the past, I still think it's a fair comparison. All right, let's try a little bit of batoning and see what happens. Start out here with the good old BK16. I've used it for batoning so many times, and I've never once been disappointed. Big old knot right here in this piece. That's going to make it challenging. We're going to go right on through anyway. There we go. Split right at the knot. But as always, my BK16 does work great. The edge holds up fantastic. I have never ever damaged this edge batoning. Alright, $200 knife, first time batoning. A little bit nervous. I don't want to damage that much money, but that's what it's supposed to be for. Okay, now that really wasn't fair because I went around the knot that time. I got some more pieces laying here. Just kind of want to get a feel, see if I can feel any difference in performance. There's a knot. Pretty even so far. We'll try one more with the BK16. Getting down to some smaller pieces now. Another knot. I really can't tell. I'm going to give it one more try here. A little small piece. I would say even, you know, I can't tell any difference by feel. The big thing, I guess, would be edge retention over time, and if one of the blades were to become damaged. Now, as I said, I've batoned with my BK16 a lot, and all I've ever had to do is strop it to get a razor's edge back on it. I've never had to do anything beyond that. But, well, let's just see here. Still got a good edge. Still got a better edge. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Let's try carving up a couple notches. A couple 7 notches just to see. This was something I absolutely love to do with the little BK16. Carving notches. All right. And as always, just performs wonderfully. I've yet to use a better knife for carving notches than my BK16. So I'm going to be surprised. I'm going to be really, really surprised if I end up liking the way that Benchmade carves notches better than this. Yeah, as always. I was going to make a feather stick, but it has been raining out here non-stop for the past couple weeks. I'm in between rains right now and hope it doesn't start, and because then I'm going to have to get my camera under cover. But I'm going to skip that one because I just don't have anything dry to work with. Everything is around me is just soaked. But anyway, as always, carves fantastic. Love the BK16 for carving. Never has disappointed me. So this is a real test for the Benchmade. And by the way, I want to say it's a little bit heavier than the BK16. It has a little bit thicker spine. Get this back up here. Feels like, yeah, a little bit thicker spine, a little bit more weight to it, so it's a little heftier. As far as comfort in the hand, My BK16 is actually more comfortable in the hand. This is a little bit more square on the corners, and I don't like that quite as well. I prefer the more rounded feel to my BK16. So my BK16 is more comfortable for me in the hand. All right, here we go, carving time. It's actually going into the wood a lot easier than my BK16. Now that's really surprising to me. We'll see. That's a big chunk of wood. That's just one cut right here. And there you go. Okay. So first cut here was the BK16. 7-notch, second 7-notch. I cut into a bigger piece of the wood with the Benchmade Bushcrafter. I had made a decision before I did this test, before I did this video, that whichever knife I felt performed better, I was going to put my little keeper on. These both sheaths, by the way, I have a custom made one for my BK16. And this is the one that came with the Benchmade. So whichever one won the test, I was going to put my keeper on, and that's going to be the one that hangs on my belt for this bushcraft season, so that I could, you know, if it's the BK16, keep putting it through its paces. If it was the Benchmade, put it through its paces. So sparks, no sparks, sharper edge, which is surprised me because this thing is shaving sharp. As far as comfort in the hand, the BK16, batoning, I couldn't tell any difference on the performance in batoning. I'd have to spend some more time just sitting here with different pieces of wood. Cutting the notches, it felt just a little bit quicker and a little bit faster with the Benchmade. So, and again, like I said, $60 knife, $200 knife, and I'll say right now, for under $100, this has been the best knife I have ever bought under $100. The BK16, absolutely love it. Will continue to use it more and more. But because this one would throw sparks, which I could never do, and felt just like it carved just a little bit easier, I am going to go ahead and put the Benchmade Bushcrafter on my belt, and this is going to be the one that I carry for this bushcraft season, perhaps with another one, because as I said, I got more gear to test down the road. Anyway guys, thanks once again for tuning in to Ochko Bushcraft. I know it's been a few months. I am back. I have some, like I said, some gear to test, some other videos lined up. And I thank you guys for the support you've been giving me. And I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It would really help me out a lot. Thank you guys, and take care.